Hello my faithful faggots, my name is Pickles, the gayest man in the universe, and today I am going to explain to you why I declined the role of R.J. McCready in John Carpenter's 1982 remake of The Thing. Anyways, this time I won't be boring you with the usual backstory on how the early 80s were a tough time for struggling gay porn actors like myself, how John Carpenter thought I would be the perfect leading man in his next horror film project, or any of that other lame-ass filler. Let's just get to all the juicy details during the early production of the film and the unswell decisions which resulted in my inevitable departure. First, there is the scene where the Norwegian pilot tries to fire at the dog and is killed by Commander Gary in self-defense. I suggested that instead of shooting the pilot, they should just ass-rape him into submission, which would have went something like the Norwegian gangbang bag. Yes, that would have been swell. Next is the scene in where they bring the mangled corpse back from the Norwegian base and the head biologist Blair, played by Wilfred Brimley, performs an autopsy in the corpse. I wanted to add a bit of comedy to the scene by having Blair stick his penis into the corpse and fucking it like a Thanksgiving turkey. Brimley of course took great offense to this and gave me a disgusted look throughout the rest of the scene. Next is when the dog they bring in is put into the kennel and changes into the Thing, when it is left alone, and McCready and the rest of the crew have to burn the Thing with flamethrowers. My suggestion to the scene was instead of flamethrowers the crew would instead whip out their cocks and begin masturbating furiously like cats. Pump up the jam at love jam, that is H. And then we fire our stream of penis pudding at the Thing like and our hot sticky love liquid will melt the Thing into a gelatinous mess, and would later perform the same process with the clone of Bennings and the rest of the Thing's remains. Bag. Yes, that would have been swell. In the scene where Blair goes mad upon realizing that the Thing can assimilate any life form and kills the rest of the sled dogs and sabotages any means of escape, the crew tries to knock Blair unconscious so he doesn't hurt the rest of the crew or himself. I of course suggested I calm Blair down by fucking him up the ass like this is for your own good, Blair. Assimilating your bum bag. Yes, that would have been swell, but again Brimley gives me an uncomfortable look and spends the rest of the scene watching over his shoulder. Oh sweet Tildas, no one can take a lust for someone's sexy ass as a compliment these days. Next is the scene where R.O.S is exposed to be one of the Things and his head separates from his body and tries to escape while his body is being burned. I wanted to alter the scene so that instead of burning the head right away I would take the head and force it to give me a blowjob like and then I would blast a cum shot into the Thing's mouth, melting the head to a slimy puddle. Bag. Yes, that would have been swell. Then of course there is the famous scene in the movie where McCready ties up the rest of the crew and begins to take a sample of everyone's blood to see if one of the samples is alive, which would expose one of the Things. I of course wanted to alter the scene so that we would take everyone's semen samples, which means I would get to personally jack off all the crew members and their throbbing boners like this is the only way we can be sure. Don't give me those looks, I know this is turning you on. Look, Windows is jacking off to it himself. And of course Parker would have to expose himself as the Thing to defend himself from my hand job, and so I whip out my 300-mile-long cock and blow my load all over the Thing like bag. Yes, that would have been swell. In the final moments of the film, when the crew decides to blow up the base ensuring the Thing's destruction and they discover Blair's underground tunnel and that the Thing got to him, I suggested an epic climax for my final battle against the Thing in where I pull my pants down and unleash the biggest, stinkiest, juiciest, diarrhea fart this side of Brewland to finish off the Thing, and it would sound something like blowing up the underground tunnel and rocketing me to safety. Then there's the final scene where me and Keith David's character Childs share a drink together and watch the base burn down as we both wait to freeze to death. I suggested a happier ending to the film in where both McCready and Childs try to keep themselves alive with each other's body heat. You guessed it, having swell poopy gay bum sex with each other like oh I can tell you're human, Childs. Only a swell human bum can take such an ass pounding, unlike those Things. We must survive to ensure the future of faggotry. Now to warm your anal cavity with my hot love preserves. Bag. Yes, that would have been swell. At this point you probably already guessed that John Carpenter was getting sick and tired of my quote-unquote disgusting changes and kicked me out of the film's production. There's just no accounting for gay taste in the horror industry. Oh fucking well. Anyways, that's how I was almost in John Carpenter's The Thing. And even when all is said and done, the movie ended up being quite swell despite little to none of my suggestions to the film were made. Well, thanks for listening, and be sure to stay tuned for more bone-chillingly swell sexy shenanigans in DW Forever 91's Return of Spookonia series. See you later, my swell sexy faggots.